And we're back. Thanks, everyone. Yeah, I just figured I should probably go ahead and commit and hit the stream so that we can keep
Yeah.
playing. And yes, okay, so uh, they're trying to fix the demon grinder. They've been working on it for a little while, and they're having trouble. And Scree, you're the one role playing with them.
Ah! Um, well, there's no need to be so angry about it. What's wrong with it?
Chukka says, "Well, if I knew what was wrong with it, I'd be able to fix it, wouldn't I?" And then uh, from underneath the machine, you hear squawk, squawk, squawk. And Chukka goes, I know, sorry, I'm trying to be nice. Just I'm really frustrated about this stupid demon grinder not working. I'm really good with repairs, but this one I just can't figure out.
Well, if you need any assistance, I'm totally free to help.
Well, I
Totally
don't.
down to do that.
Well, you could give it a shot. I don't know. Do you have much experience with mechanical things?
I mean, things here and there back in the material plane, but not that much. But it always helps to have a third point of view, person point of view.
Well, okay, come over here. Let me show you the part that's not working, and I don't know, maybe or I know that contradicts what I just said. Let me blah blah blah, and then you can blah 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 and roll a check. You can spend 10 minutes examining the vehicle and attempt to identify the part that's not working as he shows you the
Sure.
symptoms that are taking place. So 10 minutes, I'd say that's probably about the time that Zach is spending in the arcade. So you can make your roll, and then your turn is over because you spent 10 minutes doing this, and then we'll switch to Jake. But you can go ahead and make
Sure.
your roll first. So it is an intelligence check, and you can choose Arcana or Investigation. And
Okay.
remember, you have guidance. You have guidance from Raxlor, who gave it to you before he walked away.
Arcana or
Investigation. They're both
okay,
intelligent, so you can pick whichever one you're
both the
better at.
same. So
Which one are
they're
you
both the
doing?
same. Investigation.
Okay, that's just for flavor.
Yeah. Um.
All right, when you make the check, just tell me the result. And remember to add a d4 for guidance.
Okay, that's 14 with 2 guidance. So 12 and then 2 guidance, 14.
Okay, cool. So you spend 10 minutes, you test a few parts, you try a few things. You are as baffled as he. You do not notice so far what the problem is. But you continue,
And
but you and around the time that you finish up is when Zoe is going to be returning or catching up with you from the arcade. But before that, we need to go resolve Rexlor. And Rexlor, that's your turn. Oh, unless you wanted to do something, Scree. Sorry, I don't mean to jump. It's just there's your roll.
mhm,
That's the result. Unless you wanted to do anything else or role play anything else, then we'll continue on to Rexlor.
you can continue on to Raxlor, or we can come back to this when he's done and stuff.
When we come back to it is going to be when Zoe's finishing and we're all meeting
Yeah,
back up,
yeah.
which is fine as long as you know that. Just making sure.
That's fine by me.
Okay. So I am looking at some of the other machines, the ones that are like parted out or whatever. Particularly looking at I think you said there was one that looked kind of like a motorcycle. But I'm just I'm like browsing, like you do it like an auto show where you're like looking at the different cars. You're like, But I mean, since they're all, you said cannibalized, I'm looking at like what's missing on them, which ones are missing engines. I don't know anything about vehicles necessarily. I'm just trying to get an eye for if there's anything that's working in here or what the situation is on that.
Okay, so here are the categories of vehicles that you see. You see pieces of vehicles scattered around, maybe piles of pieces of vehicles. Nothing that's uh, looks like it's almost in working order. You see a lot of that, just rubble, parts, whatever. Then you see right near the Tinker Shed, or I guess maybe even inside the Tinker Shed, there are two other vehicles that look mostly together, but not entirely. One is a motorcycle that's missing the wheels, and then another one is a sort of a dune buggy looking thing that looks like it's missing some parts on the top. Some of the like armor plating is missing. You can see like the stuff, the parts inside. Okay, so then there's also some vehicles that are locked away in the garage that look like they're in working condition and they're stored. And you see two motorcycles, three dune buggies, and some other kind of a medium-sized machine with a grasping claw on it. And then the last thing you see for vehicles is you see several vehicles parked outside the inn, the bar, the well. Um, and there you see two dune buggies, one of the large machines, and a bunch of ghouls and mezzoloths hanging out around it. And that's what you see in terms of vehicles. And there's might be other ones here or there, but from your vantage point, that's what you see.
So I'm looking at the dune buggies. They all seem to be basically the same construction. Are they like identical, or do they look like they're a similar shape but pieced together from different rubble? Are these like manufactured, or are they like just different designs that are
There's
bodged together?
there seem to be distinct classes of vehicles, and so far what you've seen is a motorcycle,
Yeah.
a dune buggy, a big, almost like a tank sort of a thing, um, and then you did see some kind of a medium vehicle with a claw, like a
Are
like
they? That's not what I'm asking. Are they manufactured identical, like the motorcycles? Focused only on the motorcycles. Do they all look the same, or does it look like they're like, oh, this one's made from pieces of rusty steel and bones, and the other one's made
okay.
from.
They look similar enough to be the same vehicle, but it doesn't look like they're being produced off of an assembly line. They all look,
Yeah.
brand new, different colors. Like they're cobbled together. Some look like they're in better condition than others, but basically the same thing, just different varieties.
Okay. And the ones that are locked up, is there anyone like guarding them?
Um, not immediately that you see, but they're in the back of the Tinker's shed. So and the Kinku are there. So there's
I
not like
realize how,
and they're
I
behind
realize how that
locked.
was phrased. I don't mean can I steal one. I mean like is there anyone I could talk to about them?
Okay, that would be the Kinku. There aren't like red caps guarding it, but they are locked behind padlocked gates. But they're in the garage where the Kinku are.
Is it the same Kenku that Scree is talking to?
Yeah,
Are those the only two creatures in the garage?
yeah.
Okay, so this is like their place, or they're just the only ones here right now? I'm trying to discern that.
I mean
Does it look like there's places that
you don't see like a bunch of other Kinku.
does it look like there's places where other people would be working? Are there like multiple setups, or is it just like, like a workshop, single person workshop type thing?
Yeah, more like a single person workshop. It looks like the demon grinder. God damn it! It looks like the large thing.
You
It,
said it's a demon grinder. You
oh,
said
oh, I
we
did. Oh,
the
good, good,
yeah,
good.
she told us that
That
they were
one.
working on the demon grinder.
Okay, good. Yeah, I'm trying to remember which ones you. Okay, great. Demon Grinder is the only thing being actively worked on. You can see the two other vehicles, the motorcycle and the dune buggy, but they look like they're queued up but not actively being worked on. There's really only one major like workstation kind of. It doesn't seem like there's a whole bunch of Kenku doing a bunch of repairs. You just see those two guys working on this one thing.
Okay. Is there anything else in this garage that looks like it would be worth investigating, or is it pretty much just their workshop and they've got parts and pieces lying around?
Yep, that's pretty much it. Just the Kenku, and they're just working on their stuff.
Okay. I was kind of wandering around. You said I saw those vehicles outside the well. I want to go up to one of those vehicles and take a look at it, see what they look like in working order.
Okay, so they're definitely in working order, and they're all clustered together. And there are ghouls and mezzoloths milling about. And one of the ghouls, which you can tell because you've already been fighting them, which is a ghast, and it only looks like there's one, and he kind of he's on top of the vehicle, one of the vehicles, just hanging out, and he eyes you and notices you kind of like approaching his vehicle, and he's deciding whether he's going to approach you or not.
Is the vehicle on,
No,
or is he just sitting on it?
no, they're all off and they're just parked. So imagine a motorcycle gang parked outside of a bar.
Yeah, that's what I was imagining.
Good.
I look at him and I make a motion like I'm revving a motorcycle.
The ghast looks at you and he shakes his head and he opens his putrid mouth and says, "Out of here, mortal, before we feast on your flesh."
I say, "Well, I'm sorry. I don't mean to intrude. I just thought that was a sick ride that you got there, and I wanted to see what it sounded like."
"'Tis not my ride, mortal, 'tis my master's, and if ye lay a
Oh,
hand on it, I'll be taking the hand."
oh no. I wouldn't think of touching such a beautiful thing. I just assumed it was yours since you were on top of it. But who's your master? I'd like to give him my compliments directly on his this beautiful piece of equipment.
So there's about 8 mezzoloths, which are large beetle insect looking humanoid creature demons. And 2 of them kind of like step forward and they've got their arms folded and they look like a couple of tough bikers and they're just like looking at you. Um, as you say that. Can you repeat your question so I can? Oh, hold on.
Who's your master?
There you go. Well, here, just call. Noah's calling Grandma.
Okay.
He said, just tell Jake. And I said, just call. And I handed him the phone. I don't know how much longer we're going to play, so I want to keep the momentum.
Yeah.
He goes, "Our master's right over there, Fiona, the warlock." And he points over at the black woman who wears a white dress and is talking to, and she's holding a parasol made of bones, and she's talking to this elf looking guy that's in green with like leaves and shit on him, and he's standing next to her talking, and he stands next to a motorcycle that and the aesthetic of the motorcycle matches the aesthetic of his clothes.
So they're over. The ghoul motions to them and to her.
Yeah.
And they're standing there and they're conversing actively.
Yeah, and they're like a little. Oh, thanks. Yeah, and they're like a little ways away, like out of earshot, but you can see them talking. You can't hear what they're saying.
I raise a hand to the ghoul in thanks, and I flip him a gold coin. I pull it out of my purse and flip it to him, and I say, give it a good wash on my dime.
He watches the coin fly through the air, doesn't even attempt to catch it, and then watches it fall onto the ground in the dust. Bye, Noah. I love you.
I completely ignore the fact that he ignored the coin falling, and I'm already turning and walking away. I like flip it. I'm already turned away before it reaches the apex of its height, and I say, "Give it a good wash for me." Flip it and turn around, and it lands on the ground. I walk over to the.
He shakes his head and goes, Ah, silly mortals. And one of the crawling claw hands, like thing from the Adams family, goes crawling over to the gold coin and picks it up and like flips it across its fingers like real deftly, and then like crawls away with it.
Um.
Yes.
Oh, were you gonna say something? I was gonna interact with the NPCs.
Yep. So you walk over towards the
Yeah,
NPCs.
I didn't say that yet, but
Oh,
yes,
oh, sorry. I thought you did.
yeah, yeah. I um trying to figure out how I want to present myself. Nah, damn, Scree's already using my guidance. I don't think I'm gonna use disguise self yet. I think I'm. You said the one guy dude looks like an elf. He's got like leaves and stuff on him.
Yes.
Going to get Noah. Okay, thank you. Okay. Um. So I walk up to them, but I don't announce myself. I just walk up, kind of in a distance, and stand there quietly, waiting for them to finish their conversation and/or notice me. But I don't want to interrupt what they're doing.
Okay. I just sent you pictures of the NPCs that
I got them.
you see. Oh, this is cool. I got them without the checkered background thing, so they actually don't have a
Oh, nice.
background. They just kind of like hang out.
You mean the transparent
Yeah,
layer?
transparent layer. Cool. Yes, they don't have like a background.
Feanor
Yeah,
and
it's cool. You
Smiler.
could call it whatever you want. I knew what you meant. I'm just being a dick.
Yeah, that. The dick. That's what I meant. I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's what they look like, and as you approach them, um, the elfy leafy guy, uh, he starts like side eyeing you as you're approaching, like he kind of sees you coming up, and you see him kind of like finish his conversation, and then when he's done speaking, she nods at him, and he kind of like gestures towards her like, don't worry about this, I got this, or something, like thumbs up or winks at her or whatever. And then he hops up on his motorcycle and revs the engine, and he looks at you, Raxlor, who's like kind of in front of him, but like like not too close. And he catches your gaze, and he winks at you real obviously, and then guns his engine and like drives like blowing past you, like close to you, like but not like trying to hit you, like just trying to fuck with you.
I
He drives away.
as he blasts past me, I stand still, not even trying to dodge, just hoping he's not like, I don't want to look like a wuss being like, "Oh, I'm going to jump out of the way." So I'm hoping he's not like playing chicken with me, but I stand my ground, and as he revs the engine, I do like the rock on thing with both my hands and stick my tongue out as he blasts past me and kicks like dust in my face and stuff. Um and where does he end? Is he leaving, or is he like circling back around? Is the other girl still there?
Nope, he leaves unless you do anything crazy. He blows past you, and he's actually heading towards the gate of the fort. And the red caps open the gate if it's not open already, and he just drives on out and leaves the fort. And Fëanor is, you see her folding up her parasol and packing up like a couple of bags and strapping them to like just packing up her shit. So it looks like she's getting ready to move out too.
I walk up to her and I say, "Pardon my intrusion, madam, but I couldn't help but notice the incredible vehicles that you've got there. Where did you happen to get those? Did you build them yourself, or did you hire a skilled craftsman to craft them for you? I must know."
Um you say that, and she has not yet acknowledged you. like she's just kind of like doing her own thing, and you approach her and she doesn't gesture towards you or anything. And then when you finish speaking, she kind of pauses, still not looking at you, and she says, "My name is Fëanor, and I'd thank you to use it. Also, I'd appreciate if you would introduce yourself to me, good sir, before speaking questions in my direction." And then she stands up and then turns and meets your gaze.
I say I bow deeply with my arm, and I say, "Yes, pardon my intrusion. I was just so awestruck by your incredible uh, uh, motorcycle. I like your motorcycle. My name is Rexlor, and I'm not from around here. I'm just visiting, but I've never seen such a creation like that before. I apologize if I've offended you, but I would like to make it up to you if I could."
She says, she chuckles and says, "Oh, no offense taken. I see that your eyes are have been attracted to my golden doom, my prized possession. Yes, well, where else could I get such beautiful gilded armor than from Mahadi and his Wandering Emporium? But certainly you already know that if you're here traveling the Avernian wastelands. Why, if you didn't, then what are you even doing here?"
I say, "Not all who wander are lost, but I definitely am."
Lord.
And I say, I found myself here as a consequence of a quest that I'm on, and this is the finest establishment that I have seen since I've come to this place. And I did not expect to see someone as beautiful as yourself um, in this treacherous wasteland. So forgive me if I'm uh, having trouble collecting myself, but no, I have not heard uh, of this place or this craftsman. Is he well known around these parts?
Ha! Well known around these parts, or whichever parts he desires to be known. I'll tell you this: Mahadi might be might seem like a good friend, but never forget that he answers to Asmodeus.
I say, uh, begging your pardon, milady. Might I ask who you give your fealty to?
She says, "Well, being a warlord of Avernus, I give fealty to none, except, Zariel, but I wouldn't say fealty so much as not openly and directly challenging her. Although I'll tell you this, if I had some plan to make myself the queen of this wasteland, I would certainly do so. In fact, were I not inside this fort, which I do respect, and I met you on the wastes, unless you had something to make worth my while, I'd be leaving with your skin as spoils."
I say, yes, naturally. Of course, that is the way of these lands, and I don't expect any quarter on behalf of anyone living here. I am but a visitor to this place, and I would not fault anyone for the actions they take. I know it must not be easy um, living here, much less being such a powerful figure. You have to keep your keep your stature. You can't be seen as weak or anything like that. But of course, it's also good to have powerful friends and know who you can trust and who you should ally yourself with. Um, so you don't swear fealty to anyone. That's an honorable trait. I mean, a lot of people feel like they could get more power by allying with someone and giving up their um, what's the word for like your own freedom, giving up their own freedoms.
Sovereignty.
Sovereignty, yeah, a lot of people feel like giving up their own sovereignty would make them more powerful, and that they would be granted power. So it's very, very honorable and I can respect that. Um, I say I'm kind of a similar situation. I don't necessarily worship any one person. I respect the balance of nature.
And you're a cleric.
My fascist burns on my neck as I grit my teeth and try to talk through the pain. I don't necessarily worship anyone. I say I worship the balance of nature and all of her inhabitants, and that worship sometimes takes a form and sometimes doesn't. But when it grants me power, of course, um, power is what comes first. So I can definitely respect that. But that being said, um, of course, if we met on the wasteland, it would be a different story. But uh, for my fortune, we did not meet on the wasteland. So would you be looking to make a new friend, or you know, figure out if we have any mutual goals together?
She says, you speak of allies and of the balance of nature. You sound like that foolish smiler fellow that was just trying to convince me to help him. Yeah, he felt pretty sure that he's going to gain my friendship, but I told him that if he wants to impress me, he better figure out a way to do it on his own. So I'd tell you the same thing. But don't try too
I
hard. I'm not easily impressed.
I say that's completely fair, and I would not expect any less from someone as great as yourself. It's not your job to direct us on to direct others on how to please you. It's their job to find out, and that's the whole point of earning someone's trust, is it not? Figuring out what they want and delivering it to them. So, of course, I don't expect you to tell me what you'd like directly, but it would certainly be hard to figure that out without getting to know you better. Is there maybe a time we could meet and discuss matters which might be of mutual benefit to the both of us?
She says, she goes, well, my gang and I must really be moving along. We've dallied here for long enough. I respect Maggie's lair and her no violence rule, but I got to get out there and taste blood again. So I'm not staying here tonight. We're packing up and we're about to move out right away. But I'll tell you this: um, keep your. I don't promise that I'll hold back if I see you alone on the wastes. But if you're interested in working with me rather than against me, Um, I have another warlord that I'm pretty close to. Her name is Carol Devown. She is a powerful alchemist and technomancer. Her gang is all made up of constructs that she made herself. Very interesting. I feel that's similar to me creating my own gang, and she gestures towards all these dead shambling ghouls that are trying to run her machines. Yes, you might say that her and I have developed a mutual hmm, respect for each other, and you can see in her eyes that she's talking about sex.
Talking about what?
Anyway, if you happen on Carol, be nice to her, and also watch out because she's far more dangerous than I am. Hmm, that's what I like about her. And she finishes tying up her bag and she heads towards her machines. And she goes, well, I must be going now. I'll see you on the wastelands. And then she climbs on her machines, and her crew all mounts up and begins leaving one by one, same way that Smiler did.
as she's mounting up and leaving, she's clearly wants to end the conversation, and I don't want to continue it if that's not what she wants. So as she finishes that up and says all that, I nod and I say, hopefully we'll meet again soon, and then I bow as she leaves until she's gone. Kind of like, you know how that, like, when you're supposed to salute the president, you salute him until he's gone or he dismisses you. I do like that, and I'm like, I'm deep into a bow, and then I look up and I see she's gone, and I continue on.
Just before she drives away last, after the rest of her gang leaves, she's kind of like the last vehicle, and you see her kind of like with an intrigued smile as she looks at you. So she finds it amusing that you're showing so much respect towards her, and she drives away, remembering your interactions for later. And her gang leaves with her. So the Golden Doom is gone, and her whole gang has driven away. And now you stand
Clementine will
outside.
remember.
Huh?
Clementine will remember this.
What is that?
It's The Last of Us. I actually think it's a lot of games like that where it's like you do an action and a little text pops up that says such and such will
Yeah,
like it affects your. You said she'll remember the interaction. It's like boom, you got a little faction hit.
exactly. But you had a good interaction with her, so you're probably
Yeah.
in a decent place. Just make sure that if you meet her alone on the wastelands, that
Yeah.
you have a good reason to meet.
Okay. Interesting. And what was the name of that tinker, that shop guy that she said?
The alchemist, her girlfriend,
No, well, that too. What's that person's name?
Carol Devown.
And the name, she said, when I asked her about the machine, she said the guy who makes them, and then she's like, but everyone knows him.
Mahadi.
Mahadi.
He runs the Wandering Emporium. You learned just now.
Okay.
Well, maybe it wouldn't. Never. I don't know. Dumb joke about running and moving.
Is your Emporium wandering? Well, you better catch it.
Yeah, something like that.
Okay, I complete that interaction, and since the machine that I was fawning over is no longer there, I return to the shop to see how Scree's doing, and I see Zoe coming in too with me, I'm assuming.
Yep. So you guys arrive just as Scree is just like Scree, as you're trying to troubleshoot the machine, like a lot of it made sense, but you just barely couldn't get it. So it seems like you were pretty close with that 14 roll, but you didn't quite figure out what it was. But you feel like you're pretty close. You feel like maybe you could spend some more time and figure it out. So the three of you get together, and Zach said that he updates you guys on his experiences. And so now I assume that Raxlor and Scree are going to as well. So now you guys can interact and decide how to proceed.
Well, I'm like squawking in frustration right now. As when I see them walking up, I'm like, oh hey guys, I was helping my fellow Kenkus with this problem machine here. It just won't start. And I'm no mechanical bird, but I thought it would be nice to see it up and running. But it won't work. I'm gonna try a little more, and then I'll drop it.
I walk up to it and I say, machine giving you trouble, eh? I've had my fair share of these. Here, I know some tricks. I walk up to it, and I look at it, and I put my hands on my hips, and I look it over. I like bend down, like at my knees, and I'm looking underneath it, and then I kick it in the side really hard with a thunk. And I say, there, try it now.
Did that work? Oh.
Chukka goes, oh, I don't know. I'll give it a try. I mean, I'm a genius mechanic who's been sitting here working on this for days and days and days. But wow, you just walked up and kicked it, and I bet it's gonna work now. and he says,
Totally gonna.
Clunk, Clunk, climb out from under there. Oh, this thing's about to take off. You don't want to get hurt. Come on, come get in the pilot the co-pilot seat. And he goes squawk squawk squawk. So he gets up and he climbs, and they make a huge production of like getting in the seats. Oh, gotta strap on your safety belts. Oh, gotta adjust the mirrors. All right, here we go. Don't even know why I'm worried, because I'm sure it's going to click, 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 click. Oh, what do you know? Wow, it didn't start. Okay, must be something else.
I say, oh, that normally works. I mean, 1 in a million happens sometimes.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, that's what my car is going through right now. Except it's about 3 different layers of it giving me the middle finger.
Did you
I'll
try
tell you
kicking
about
it?
that.
Did you try kicking it? It could.
Oh, yes, I did.
Have you tried turning it on and off again?
Yeah, off and on again. I say that, but I start. Have you tried turning it? And
Well, I tried off and on again once I was finally able to get into it today. Finally,
oh, that's right. It was like locking you out.
the driver's side door handle is broken,
That's right.
and the battery is now dead. And there's only one keyhole lock on the driver's side, so it's literally impossible to get into my car without breaking a window or using a Slim Jim calling AAA. If it weren't for the fact that I have a window that's permanently, rolled down
Oh
right now.
God.
And the only reason it took me a while to get into it is because I had just finished plastic sheeting over that window to make my car look extra trashy. And then that's when the battery died. I'm like, but I just fucking taped this up. And now I have to take it down because the only way into the car is literally through that window.
Oh my God. Well,
So yeah, similar situation.
maybe you could, maybe
Yeah.
tell the Kinku about that. Maybe that'll help them figure out their problem. Tell them to try climbing in through the window.
Okay. Yeah. Hey guys, have you tried climbing in through the window?
When you suggest something and then you have no
He looks
no
around and
response
goes,
prepared.
"What windows are you talking about?" There's no win. It's like an open air vehicle.
Those windows. And I just kind of turn around and act like I got distracted and I'm looking at something else.
He says, Well, anyway, unless you need something else, I gotta get back to work. Clink, clink, clunk, clunk, clank, clank. Continues working on the vehicle.
Well, that was worth a try. Anyways,
You could
I
spend.
suppose there's.
You can
Huh?
try. You can try further, but you'd have to spend another 10 minutes doing it. But you can talk to your party, and you guys can decide how to proceed.
Are we in
Guys?
danger of it getting too late before we set up camp?
No, it's only been like probably 20 minutes total, and Maggie said she needs a few hours to set up the machine. So.
Oh my god, it's only been 20 minutes total in game. It feels like so much longer.
Well, it's been 2 hours of life. We're staying in town though. We don't have to
Yeah, I
set
know.
up camp. She said we could stay at the hostel.
Yeah.
Yeah, after some of the stuff that I saw, I don't 100% trust it to be as 100% safe as we can just, lay down and go to bed. I
Oh,
still
no,
feel
but-
like we should,
Might wanna
Jesus,
keep
if
a
only we had
watch.
Lehman's tiny hut.
Yeah,
You can keep watch for one person to keep watch, every 2 hours, and
Only thing is, even if we don't do that, just plopping down without any thought of, arranging ourselves in a better fortified position or anything like that. Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, obviously, we're not gonna just like be like, oh, good, let's chill here, like you guys have been doing in Strahd.
That's exactly what I've been picturing.
But yeah, I mean, we have a quote unquote safe place to stay. We don't have to camp on the fields of Avernus, which is better, I guess.
I know.
It's like when a homeless person gets like one of those tents, and it's like, hey, at least I got a tent.
And then the cops tear it up.
Yeah. So yeah, we've got a place to stay, so we don't have to quote set up camp. We're not gonna like leave and go set up camp.
I
Also,
know it's not the right. it's not the right word, but that's what I was meaning. Like we don't just walk into the hostel and be like, okay, night. We kind of
Yeah.
you
But it's still
Yeah.
like midday, and she said it'll be a couple hours before she's even got the ritual or whatever you call it prepared. So yeah, we've still got some more exploring to do and time to waste.
I officially logged that you guys arrived here at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and I just said you guys spent about 20 minutes doing that stuff. So this was
Oh yeah.
this was unintentional, but it is now 4:20.
Haha,
It
haha.
just is. Use that information whatever you want, but just letting you know.
Guys, it's 4:20.
Oh,
Please,
the Kinku are like, up break time, and they sit down and they pull out a 12-inch spliff and just blaze.
I was gonna
Oh my
say, do we
God.
see the red caps lining up and heading off to the other side?
Oh yeah, but the a couple red caps like imitate the Kinku, but they grab random like leaves and trash and shit, and then like roll it up, and then they smoke that, and
That's
this
even better.
thick black awful smoke is coming out, and they're like imitating the
Ew.
Kinku and like laughing, but then they like cough horribly, and one of them is like coughing up blood onto the ground as he continues to smoke rubber and
Fucking
tar.
poison ivy.
Yeah, and he's just and they're like laughing as they're like as they're like breathing in black smoke, and Chukka looks over at them, and he just shakes his head and he's like, ah, fey creatures, puff puff puff.
Ugh, you probably shouldn't smoke the cancer leaves. They're not just slightly cancers, they're cancer. Just cancer.
but yeah, so I say, well, it sure would be nice if we could help them fix their machine, but I don't know anything about machines. I mean, anything more. I mean, I tried everything I know.
I was gonna say I don't think I know very much, but I could give it a shot if you want.
Well, I feel like I'm close, guys. I'm really close with this one. I can feel it in my feathers. But, man, just barely out of my reach. Hey, Raxlor,
What's up?
cast guidance on me again if it hasn't worn off.
Oh yeah, you can only use it once. I say, all right, if you think it'll help, but it didn't do much last time, and I give you a guidance.
All right. I'm gonna try one more time, and then I'm done.
You can spend another 10 minutes looking for the problem. And since Zoe, if Zoe is actively helping you try to solve the problem,
Oh yeah, I'll
Then-
happily do that.
then you get advantage. So you get to add your
Awesome.
D4 from guidance from Raxlor, and then also add give yourself advantage.
Awesome.
And make your roll, make your check.
All right,
Did
making
you
an
try checking
arcana
it in
check.
metric? Maybe that's the problem. See, that's me helping.
All right, so 17, 18. That's 19.
Nice.
19. All right. So with Zoe's help and with the guidance from Raxlor, you search and troubleshoot and test, and what you notice is that there's actually one part that's at the center of all of these issues, and
Oh?
you have determined that this spiky gear is in fact the source of the problem.
I'm probably like under the car or something right now, like bugging with it. And then I slide back under, and there's like a little oil spill on my face, like in a stereotypical car mechanic scene. And I go, squawk, squawk! Hey guys, I think I found it. There's a spiky gear right over here. I think this might be it.
Chukka goes, the Hezro gear? Well, I already checked that. And he crawls under there and he looks at it and he goes, no, it's not. And then Clonk walks over and points at something. And then Chukka tilts his head to the side and he goes, well, I'll be gutter swamped. You're right. It is the Hezro gear. As he speaks exactly like every other character that I voice.
Aha!
He is a king.
Knew
He is a
it!
mimic.
Yeah, he
That's
mimics
funny.
all of the other characters, all the various characters that I've done. Well, that's great. You know how to fix it?
I'm not that skilled, but
Well, darn.
well,
Have you tried turning the gear off and on again? See, look, I'm helping.
you're so helping. Okay. If you
I
want
say-
me to bug with it again, then I could, but I got things to do. Life can goof friends, but I'm glad to help you anytime, basically. Just I'm spent.
He says, so his Chukka replies in a voice that resembles Mad Maggie, and he says, "By Bishaba, whatever did an innocent woman like I do to deserve this?" And then his voice changes to a deep, rumbling, dwarf kind of ish voice, and he says, "'Tis the Hezru gear, can't be repaired, ain't nothing else to do but catch a new one, unless you got some way to remove demonic magics."
Mm,
I
I
say,
don't believe I do.
is it cursed somehow or is it broken? I ask.
Seems like demonic essence.
I say,
Got any sort of magical ways? What you got?
would a magical remove curse spell remove the magic?
Um, Make a religion check and see if you think that uh, remove curse would have an effect.
14.
Um, you don't think so, but you think that it's uh a magical corruption, but not cursed. So remove curse probably wouldn't affect it.
Dispel magic?
Okay, another religion check. Let's do this for each spell.
11.
Maybe. I mean, it's magical. It's magical and evil.
I say, does that gear come out easily, or is it something you have to fix while it's in there?
He says, "Oh, I could take it out to replace it, but if you've got some way that you think will remove the demonic essence, you could try it where it is."
I say, do you think Mad Maggie would know of a way to remove it?
Well,
Think if we showed her?
she's not much of a mechanic, and I'd really rather not bother her. You know, this is kind of our job, fixing this stuff. So
Well, yeah, but I mean,
I'd rather
clearly.
not go to her and admit that I
Well,
can't figure it out.
well, if you're not gonna, I mean, if you're just gonna replace it, I mean, I'll gladly take it and I'll figure it out and then fix it and sell it later. I could sell you my services and repair it.
Giggity.
Oh, well, I suppose that would be the case. You know, that might be okay. What would you charge? Although, I just want to let you know that um, anything you did to help us, we would certainly put in a good word for you with Mad Maggie. Well, I wouldn't have to get specific that you did my job for me, but I would definitely put in a great faction word for you with Maggie.
I
Ooh.
say, oh, okay. Well, so if we're sidestepping issues like that, you're not necessarily going to say that's your job. I'm not necessarily going to ask Mad Maggie how to fix this for you. I'm just going to tell her I found it and ask if she knows what's wrong with it. She doesn't have to know that it's yours.
Oh, I see what you're getting at. He says, "Okay, I'll let you borrow this corrupted gear, and just don't tell Mad Maggie that it's mine and that I couldn't figure it out. Um, if you do, then I won't put in such a good word for you, because I kind of want you to help me without embarrassing me here."
I say, trust me, I'll keep your shortcomings to myself.
He says, "Well, all right." And he says, "Clonk, go ahead and remove that Hezru gear and give it to our buddy here." And he does so. And now you have a demonic corrupted Hezru demon gear.
I take it and I put it in my bag, and I say, "Do you have any other parts around here I could borrow that maybe aren't working or are broken or something?"
He looks at you and then he looks around the room and he's like, "You want to be more specific?"
I mean, any mechanical parts that you're having trouble with?
This is the only one that's stumping me. Once I get this thing repaired, and I'm gonna put the wheels back on that Devil's Ride over there, and next I'll try to get the armor patched up on the Tormentor.
I say, "Yeah, but do you have like anything that's just like broken that's like scrap, but it's clearly parts for
Well,
machines?"
I ain't just giving up my extra parts for machines here.
I'll bring them. First of all, not extra parts, like broken parts, and also I'll bring them back. I'm just borrowing them. I got a plan, all right. If you don't want me to tell Mad Maggie
Oh,
that
I
you're
see.
incompetent,
Well, I'll tell if
then
you're
I have to.
if you're just looking for props, there's broken parts scattered all about this fort, so you're welcome
Yeah,
to.
prop. That's the word.
Yeah, you're welcome to anything laying on the ground. You can snatch right up.
Oh, good, good. So I go around and I gather. I said, "You have like a bag I can carry some stuff in, like just a big old sack of parts."
Mm. No,
No sacks. That's fine.
no, I'm not really in the
Sacks
sack
are a
business.
pretty rare commodity.
You could maybe buy one over in the arcade if you're really looking for one, but I'm not really in the sack
Nah,
business.
I'll just carry them in my arms. It's fine. I walk around and I gather up some parts that are like very obviously broken, like shattered gears,
One of the
gears with
pieces that
missing
you're
teeth.
reaching for, Mickey is also reaching for, and
Uh,
you get to it first, and then he kind of looks at you and then kind of slumps his shoulders like, oh, he really needed that one and he saw it from really far away and he hobbled all the way over here to get it, and then you're like, aha, and you just snatch it up.
I hand it to him. I realized that I saw that he was clearly going for it. I grabbed it first, but I saw that he was also reaching for it, and I hand it to him.
He kind of smiles, if you can like discern a smile in his face, and he goes, "Rrr," and then he hobbles away towards another part. And get off my book! No, get off the book, doggo. What are you freaking out? I don't have any food. She just came over and started just stepping on my book, like fuck your book, like Dave Chappelle with the couch when he was Rick James. What do you
Cook out.
want? Oh,
Uh,
okay. I know what she wants. I'll feed you when the stream is over. I will give you a whole thing. She's eating dry food, and then she's looking at me, and then she's like, nuzzle, nuzzle, nuzzle. And I'm like, oh, okay. She wants some wet food.
Smart.
I will give you wet food. Yes, I will. Yes, I will, doggo. Um, shit. I lost my train of thought, but I had an answer for what we were doing. Mad Maggie, get me
The
back on
guy
track.
the guy walked. You're not acting
Oh,
right now. I
Mickey,
was acting. You had the guy walk away.
Mickey,
Yeah.
Mickey, yeah, yeah. But make an insight check.
Okay.
Sorry, that's
No,
right.
that's fine.
That's the line I was reading when the doggo started stepping on my book. You can
What's my
guidance
insight?
yourself if you're.
Can I?
Well, I mean, kind of. I mean,
I didn't
guidance is
specifically.
instance.
I didn't
Whatever.
specifically say I cast it because it's tedious to constantly say I cast guidance, but in this situation, I would probably have it active on
Be right
myself.
back real quick.
Okay.
I would have it active on myself unless I needed to cast it on someone else. Basically, assume I always have it on myself,
Yeah.
unless we're in a situation where I can't recast it, or if I'm concentrating on something else.
Yeah.
So okay. Then it is 13.
You don't succeed the check. You feel like there's something wrong with Mickey. He doesn't seem. I mean,
Yeah.
not that you've known him, so you know how his personality is, but he definitely seems like he's got some kind of like medical issue. But you can't figure it out.
Yeah. I go up to him, which I was planning on doing anyway. I don't insight check, but thank you. I walk up to him and I gently touch him on the shoulder and make sure he's not gonna reach over and smack me or something.
He doesn't. And then he
I
looks like he's trying to say something to you. He goes, and then he just kind of like
I
gives up because he can't speak.
I point at his leg and I say, "Hurt?"
He goes,
I shake my head and I say, "Fix?"
he nods at you. And then you see the madcaps are kind of like gathering around him as he stopped, and they're all like laughing and hopping and laughing and hopping and pointing at him and mocking him, like brutally, like an elementary school full of like asshole redneck kids.
That's not gonna. Can I make a Arcana check to see if I can tell what's wrong with him? Medicine check. Medicine. I'm like, I wanna. I said fix. He made rah rah rah. I wanna like bend down and look at him. I whip out my healer's kit and I start like looking at him and inspecting him to see what's wrong with his leg.
Okay, if you spend that much time on it, I'll let you make a medicine check to try again.
Okay, and guidance myself before I start investigating. I touch my forehead and cast guidance, and then I kneel down and start investigating him. Plus guidance. 27.
Ha! Nice. Too bad that's not the last check. So
Yeah.
you do determine the problem. He has what looks like a fragment of bone devil lodged in his foot, like the thorn in the lion's paw. But it's a thorn.
That's
It's a bone devil shard in his foot.
how did I know that?
Written by Aesop. And he has a really
like
sad look in his eyes as he like points toward the bone. And there's black like congealed blood like oozing out of his foot where the wound is. He's actually like bleeding with every step.
the moment you started talking about him having something wrong with him, I immediately thought thorn in the lion's paw, and I was like, no, that'd be too cliche. That'd be too obvious.
Everything
Yeah, I was
in
gonna
D&D
say I've
is
never
cliche.
heard this trope before.
This is a book of tropes. I hold before
at
me
least-
a book of tropes.
At least you're not a horse, and it's not a manticore.
So I can tell that it's a piece of bone devil that's stuck in him.
Yes, with a 27, you are able to tell that.
Oh yeah, right. I got a 27. I take out a bottle of holy water and hold it up to him, and I say, "Good."
He shakes his head.
I quickly put it away, and I held up my hands. And I said, "No, okay, no, that." I was thinking like dissolve it out with the holy water, but I don't want to do if it's gonna hurt him too.
He's made of fiendish parts, so this is probably not a good idea.
Yeah. Well, how come the bone shard isn't just like part of him then? If he's a construct made of fiendish parts,
Why
it
is
should
it?
just can I cast?
Why isn't D&D
Can I
logical? It doesn't make any sense.
wait? Can I cast? I cast mending to mend the bone shard into his body and make it part of him.
He's like shaking his head. Quick, somebody get the elven rope to tie him down with. It won't stop squirming from
yeah, the
all the
elven rope.
water.
I
some lemdas.
It burns.
I pull out a torch and I find a spot to sit down and I motion for him to sit down on the ground.
He sits down.
I pull a torch out of my sack and I hold it up in my mouth and I bite the sides of it and then I give it to him and like motion, like do the same thing I'm doing.
Okay, he does.
And then I rub my hands together and I try and get a good grip on the bone shard to try and yank it out.
Okay. Since you're going to a bunch of trouble, I'll let you have advantage on this medicine check. Also, because I hope you don't miss it. Here you go, Doggo. Here you go, Doggo. AFK a quick sec while you roll that.
I'm back.
Welcome back.
Thank you.
You're welcome. We're waiting on Nick. He stepped away for a second.
Okay, sorry. I got up to
problem.
feed her and then
Hello.
realized how much I had to pee.
It happens.
Okay.
23.
Oh, good. Okay, 23 medicine check. Yeah, good. Because if you got a bad check, then you would hurt him worse, and that
Yeah.
wouldn't be good. So with
So
a
what's up, guys?
23. Oh
what did you
crap.
miss?
Oh shoot, you were AFK, right?
Yeah, I was in the bathroom.
I was gonna go. I was gonna go take the part to Mad Maggie to check it out so we could figure out what's wrong with it. Because I'm probably just gonna cast Dispel Magic on it if that'll work, but I don't want to waste a third level spell slot if it doesn't work. And I saw her friend Mickey or whatever, and we've been seeing him hobble around, but there's been more important things until now. But he was really pushing it, so I went and looked at him, and he had a shard of bone stuck in his foot, so I'm yanking it out of his leg right now.
Ouch.
Yeah, I gave him a torch to bite down on. It's okay.
And out it pops successfully. And he stands up and he kind of like flexes his leg back and forth. And then he steps on the ground and then he jumps up and down and he goes, and all the madcaps and redcaps that had been making fun of him get really disappointed. And they're like, "Aww."
I flip him the finger.
And then they grumble, 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 and they kind of walk away from Mickey.
I
And
I mock
Mickey,
their grumbling.
Mickey grabs your hand and shakes your hand with both of his claws, and nods his head and grumbles at you and gestures and mumbles in a way that makes you think he's saying that he'll put in a good word for you with Mad Maggie.
I grumble back at him.
Just say, I bet that word is.
Yeah. I don't know if a word from him is really the greatest reward.
Grumble, 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 grumble.
That's nice to hear. But then I do go to.
He skips away as he continues his job of collecting parts, but now he's like skipping happily.
I would like to continue to Mad Maggie's to check on see if she can tell what's wrong with the part.
Okay. So you walk into her hovel. She greets you, yes, dearie, and oh yeah. So what do you say? She greets you.
I go up to her and I say, "Hey, so I know you're busy preparing that ritual. I just had a really quick question. I'm really not familiar with the types of technology and magic that go on here. I know a little bit about magic, but I just feel like you'd have a better grasp on this than me. I was talking to someone in town, and they we kind of like hit it off, and they really liked me, and they gave me this sack of broken parts, and they said I might be able to get some coin for it if I could fix them, but I really don't know how to fix any of them. Could you take a look at them with me and see if you can tell what's wrong with them?" Oh yeah, there's no sack. They took the sack. There was a sack, but then they kept the sack because they're so rare around here. So they told me that I couldn't have the sack, but I could have the parts. So that's why I'm carrying all the loose parts in my arms.
She tells you that her specialty is more of magic and dreams, but if you're looking for mechanical questions, that you should see her magpies, Chukka and Clonk. They're the best mechanics that she knows.
I say no, not mechanic. It's actually this one. Like I was looking at them, and this one I think there actually is something magically wrong with it. It might be like some kind of demonic magic which, like I said, I'm not really super familiar with. But can you see if you can tell what kind of magic is cursing or enchanting it?
She goes, "Oh well, let me take a look at it."
And I give her the Hezro gear.
And
course.
she goes, "Oh well, let me just cast Detect Magic here." So she casts.
All right, I have that spell too.
She casts Detect Magic and says, "Well, there's definitely demonic essence in this gear. I'd probably advise that you find some way of dispelling it."
I say, well, I do have the spell. I do have Dispel Magic prepared. Do you think that would be powerful enough? I'm not familiar with demonic magic. I would hate to try and dispel it and have something terrible happen in your city. I wanted to check with you first.
She shrugs. "Well, could work. If it's strong enough, it'll work. If not, shouldn't be a big deal."
I say, well, do you mind if I do it here just in case something happens so you can help me?
What do you? I don't know what you mean by help you. Actually, why don't you go ahead and do whatever you're talking about outside so you don't mess up my carpet?
I say, all right, and I step right outside the hut. And is my party with me? Have you guys been following along?
Yeah.
Okay. I say, I don't know what's going to happen. Probably nothing. But, I mean, sometimes when you dispel or, um, what's that thing where you dispel a demon from a person? Exercise. Sometimes when you exercise things, things come out. So be ready for that. But, fingers crossed that doesn't happen. And I cast Dispel Magic targeting the Hezro gear.
All right. So mark off your spell slot. What level slot is that?
3rd level.
Okay. So you expend a 3rd level spell slot and cast Dispel Magic. When you do, you see the demonic glowing aura fade away, and the gear begins to spin freely in your hand. And it seems like the essence has been purged and the gear has been repaired.
I bring it back to the mechanic guys and I say, hey, so I wasn't able to fix that gear, but I did buy this one. It was like 300 gold. I hope that was a fair price. I'm not really super familiar with it. But, we're kind of working together here. I'll sell it to you for like 150, just, split the cost if that's all right.
He says, "Oh, that's great that you got a new gear. Interesting that you said that you bought one, but well, that's okay. I mean, we can just go, hunt for a new gear. I suppose it'll just take us a little bit longer."
Yeah, you know what? I think it's really important that we fix this thing. I really want to help you guys out, so I'll cover the cost for this one. 300 gold, not a big deal. My pockets go kind of deep, but they kept asking about a soul coin, but I was like, I don't have that. Will you take gold? And they were like, yeah, I guess, but it's gonna cost you. And that was where they got 300 gold out of me. But yeah, I'm not super familiar with the economy down here, but I hope I didn't get ripped off. But you just take it, don't worry about it. This one's on me, but hopefully hopefully that you keep that in mind, that I'm generous with my money. I'm not stingy.
They thank you profusely and say, "Wow, this is great. It'll fix their problem and save them some time." And they say, "Don't worry, we'll make sure to put in the best possible word to our boss for you."
I say, I'm just glad to help.
And there's a chime noise as a second star appears on the screen, because now you've pleased 2 of her inhabitants.
Oh my.
Well, let's make it 3.
Speaking of which, you notice after you complete your interaction, well, actually, you're still there in the garage, so I don't want to start jumping forward. What do you do now? So they go to take the gear and finish repairing, and they go, "This is great. We'll have the demon grinder done before the end of the night." And as they proceed repairing it,
I don't know. I turn to ask the party as we start to walk out, and I say, well, we've feel like we've solved quite a few problems. We haven't gone to the inn yet, but we'll go there. It's as the day goes on, we'll see what's going on there. But where do you guys think we should go now? You want to go back to Mad Maggie and check on her? I just talked to her, but it's been a little while.
Might not be a bad idea.
Okay. Or we could go check out the inn, or Is there anywhere else we haven't explored? Let's see. We haven't been inside the well. I talked to the guys outside of it, but we haven't actually been in there. It also might not be a bad idea to go to the hostel. And also, you only have those 3 places marked, right? There's not really anywhere else to explore.
4 places, and yeah, the only 4
Okay.
location. Well, I mean, I guess Mad Maggie's hut, but other
Yeah.
than that, there's
thinking-
the well, the hostel, the arcade, and the shed.
I'm thinking the hut is the thing in the back on the map. I don't want to start picking buildings at random and go, I go in here. I'm assuming if it's not labeled, it's not really a thing. So, if you guys want to go to the well or the hostel, we can. I don't want to keep bugging Mad Maggie, but yeah, what do you guys think?
I want to go to the well.
Yeah, we can go check it out.
All right, so let's go ahead and head out of here and go check out what's in there and see if we can maybe get a room. We want to get a room before it gets too late. So
Okay.
we do that.
So you leave and start heading towards the well, and you notice that green, the skull with the green flames, is over here on the other side of the fort now, and he's blasting away debris with I-beams and shuffling stuff around.
So, like,
Once
I
again, I'm
say
slightly
this-
concerned about that skull. Just a little bit.
Yeah, you still haven't done anything about it.
And there's mad caps and red caps milling around doing various things as I described.
I would like to make an Arcana check to see. They're the same. I would like to make an Arcana check to see if my character knows what the Demi-Lich is.
Okay, make your check.
12.
12. This is not a Demi-Lich. This is a flame
What?
skull.
Flame Skull, that's right. They look the same though, right?
Very similar, yeah. I'm not sure about a Demi-Lich.
I know Flame Skull though.
A flame skull is basically when actually I don't know. And you only got an 11, so I don't have to go look it up.
So you don't have to know. Yeah. I'm familiar with it. My character might not be, but I forgot there was a second kind. But yeah. Okay. Do I know if they can speak? Do I know if they're sentient or if it's like a robot?
They speak common.
Okay. So it's kind of funny how like depending on the interaction is what kind of information. Like if we were fighting it, I want to know resistances, armor class, attacks. But we're going to interact with it, so I want to know what languages it speaks, its demeanor and things like that. That's kind of cool how you play the different the different pillars differently. I say, oh, is that the floating skull you were talking about earlier, Zoe? That one over there blasting stuff?
Unless there's another floating skull blasting stuff.
I say, well, I don't know. We are in hell. You never know, but maybe we
That's
should
a really
go.
good point.
It's been like 20, 30 minutes since you last saw him, and he's still just running around blasting stuff. Maybe we should go see if he's looking for something or what he's doing. It looks like he might be in some distress. Do you guys think we
looks
should go?
like a janitor. Like, he's like cleaning up the place. But yeah, we should talk to him.
Yeah, at least see. I mean, if he's looking for something, we might be able to help him. I wouldn't. He knows what he's doing, obviously. But what if he lost something and he's trying to find it? So does anyone? I'm not really. I mean, I'm sure it speaks common, but I'm not really. I don't have any experience speaking to floating skulls. Do either of you want to do the talking on this one?
Just one thing that you do know about them, besides that they do speak common, is that they're typically created using the skull of a dead spellcaster. So unlike where a lich, where they're bringing themselves back to life, it's more like, oh look, the skull of a powerful cleric or wizard. I'm going to take this skull and turn it into a flame skull using a spell like Create Undead, but with maybe more complicated rituals.
And the cleric is like, but hey guys, I'm still alive. They're like, we know.
Yes. Does the skull have to be cleaned? Does it have to be empty? Can my own head be a flame skull? That'd be sweet.
That's Ghost Rider.
It is. Ghost Rider is a flame skull that wasn't dead when he was converted.
Pretty sure that's
But
canon.
yeah, actually, I'm not familiar with it, but I'm sure it is. Do either of you wanna interact with this guy? Maybe Zoe. It's pretty demonic and evil, and that's kind of your thing.
Also, those
Yes, but
those ravens are also watching you. They're in a tree nearby, and when you leave one location and walk to the next as a party, then they kind of fly to another tree. They're keeping their distance, but they're watching you, and sometimes they whisper to each other.
To clarify, because I believe I know, but I want to make sure it's clear. When you say ravens, these are actual ravens, not the
Yes.
kenku, which are separate. Okay.
Correct, and
There
they're
are
the ravens
bird-
that were actual bird ravens that were sitting on Mad Maggie's shoulders.
Okay. The kenku were referred to earlier as ravens, so I just wanted to make sure it was clear that these were not the same thing.
Yeah, sorry. So she calls them the magpies.
She calls the kenku the magpies.
Yes.
Okay, so there's magpies and ravens. That's not confusing at all.
Very confusing, since magpie can also be a raven, and kinkus
Yeah.
are also basic. Actually, aren't there like crows instead of ravens?
yes,
You know,
I don't know.
ravens.
ravens are a little bit bigger than crows, but otherwise they're basically the same thing, just evolved slightly, barely separately.
Also grackles. Ravens, grackles,
Oh,
and
yeah.
crows. All slightly different calls, all slightly different. But blackbirds.
But yeah, so
I mean, I
there's-
can, but until this moment, I didn't realize that was a sentient thing. I assumed that it was like just, basically a magical skull ferret going around.
oh, it's definitely sentient. I don't know how controlled it is, but I just feel like that if it is doing something that we might be able to help it with, that it would be a good creature to make friends with. It's always good to have a psi blasting skull on your side, and especially if it's something easy. Like what if it's trying to find its eyeballs, and we're like, hey, aren't those your eyeballs on your head? And it's like, oh, silly me.
Actually, it's like how you got bigger worries than finding your eyeballs. I guess I can.
I mean, I'll be your backup here, and don't worry, I've got your back. And I touch your shoulder, and I cast guidance, and I say, we'll be here, but I just think you should be the one doing the talking for this one. What with your 20 charisma and all.
I'm sure it has nothing to do with the fact that you don't want to get blasted in the balls if you ask something it doesn't like.
I say, well, 2 birds, 1 stone. I look up at the half the fort turns and looks at you with a glaring look on their face, like, whoa. Like feed 2 birds with 1 stone.
That is offensive.
Like knock down
an
an apple with a stone and then break it in half to feed 2 birds. Haven't you ever heard?
They're buying it. You don't have 20 charisma. Okay, so let's go walk over to the skull.
Okay, so you walk over, and as you approach him, you see him blasting fire rays out of his eyes, burning up debris, and you hear him, and he speaks with a British accent, and he goes, "Oh, where is it? Where is it?" As he's searching around.
I kind of wave at him, try to get his attention a little bit. Hey, sorry, pardon me. I know how awesome it is to light stuff on fire, so I feel bad for interrupting you, but I just thought I'd check and make sure everything's okay. You seem a little distressed. Is there anything we can help you with?
He says, "Oh, distressed. Oh, that's saying the least of it. Why, I tell you, I just can't put up with these." And then he goes, "Oh no, bottle kids!" And a bunch of red caps run up and start just chucking glass bottles at him. And he hides under a table, and the bottles are like shattering all over, and they're like giggling and cackling as they throw rocks and bottles at him. And then all the red caps run away as fast as they ran up. And he crawls out and he goes, You see what I'm talking about? I can't just be minding my own business and they just come over and start throwing things at me. Oh, what an insult this is. I was once a powerful wizard and now I'm reduced to target practice for a bunch of gnomes. I'm so distraught with that.
I get it. That sucks. So what are you doing
Dang,
with
that's
your fire
crazy,
eyes?
bro.
Dang, that's crazy. Well, anyway, bye. He says,
Well,
he goes, "Oh, it's my tooth, don't you see?" And he whistles his S's as you hear them. And he opens his mouth, and you see one of his teeth are missing. And he says, "Oh, one of those darn red caps. They threw a rock and hit me right in the tooth and knocked it out. And one of them, I think his name was Grubba, snatched it off the ground and ran off with it. And I just want my tooth back. I don't want to tell Mad Maggie because it's embarrassing. Me, a formerly powerful wizard, being without a tooth, but she's noticing the whistle, and I've been avoiding her so she doesn't ask me about it."
well,
Let's go find this red cap.
how long ago did it happen, and where was it that it happened at?
Oh, it was a few days ago, but I think maybe they've hid it somewhere around here. I already tried confronting them, but I'm sure you already know how difficult it is dealing with red caps, so I just gave up and thought I'll just find where they've hidden it. If you find it, please let me know.
Okay,
What is
so
All right.
Grubba. It's probably white and toothy.
I feel like there's going to be a lot of
Point-
little small bony things.
He points him out. That one over there. He's the one. That's Grubba. I'm sure of it. He's the one who stole my tooth.
Okay, well, we will certainly keep an eye out for your tooth.
It
See
doesn't
what
make
I
any
can
sense. I'm missing a tooth, not an eye.
Eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth.
I guess I
actually made that with that intention. I wasn't just being an idiot.
A tooth for an eye.
An eye for an
If it
eye, a
isn't-
tooth for a tooth. I was saying I'll keep an eye out for your. Yeah, never mind.
It isn't my old friend Mr. McGregor with a leg for an arm and an arm for a leg.
All right. Well, we will certainly let you know if we come upon it.
He says, "Oh, thank you. I would certainly put in a good word for you with Mad Maggie if you were to help me with my problem."
I feel like
Certainly.
everyone's gonna start saying that.
That's kind of the thing we're doing.
I know.
Yeah, this is like a trope where you go to a new town on your RPG and everyone's like, "Oh, I have a problem."
Yeah,
And it's like you and everybody else in the last 15 towns.
Yeah.
I say, pardon my intrusion. I know you two are having a conversation there, but you seem to be pretty powerful with those eye lasers. Is there a reason why the red caps are able to assault you like that, and you're not able to just blast the shit out of them?
Let me see.
I know that Mad Maggie told us no violence is allowed here, but I feel like knocking your tooth out with a rock constitutes violence.
Red caps are challenge rating 3, and flame skulls are challenge rating 4. So, like, he could take one at a time, but if a group of them run up and throw shit at him, like, there's just not a lot he could do. And if he was like, yeah, Mad Maggie doesn't like them fighting, but it's kind of like, it's like bullies picking on you in school. They can come up, knock shit out of your hands, run away, and then you're off.
If you kill them, then now you're now you're the one who gets in trouble.
Exactly. If you just like go out of nowhere and punch a bully in the face and be like, "Well, you knocked shit out of my arm," and then he goes crying to the teacher, and then the teacher's like, "Well, we can't prove what he did to you the other day, but you just punched him, so you're gonna get in trouble now."
Worth it. Trust me. Worth it.
I say, yeah. I mean that totally makes sense. I mean, I'm sure you could totally take them if you needed to, but it's very honorable of you to not just turn to violence. So that's cool. I'll make sure to have a very stern talk with them.
Yeah, stern talk. Good luck with that.
That always works with bullies.
I say my mace speaks very loudly, and I wrap it in my hand.
Yes. Yes, hit him once for me. Just, don't let Mad Maggie see you, womping on her fae. She won't get insulted if you, can get away with it, but try not to make a big, spectacle out of it.
You know, beating up Fae, that's so last millennia. We should play a trick on them. That
Ooh.
is something that the Fae will never see coming. Somebody else Faeing them.
Oh my god, you might be onto something.
That's a good idea.
Well, I'm trying to be a Fae. I mean, I
Yeah.
know I have Fae ancestry. I want to be like full on, like pixie trickster, you know?
So we need to figure out a way. I think we should go talk to him first and not see their side, because I mean, there's not really a side; they're just dicks. But figure out what their motivation is. Figure out if there's a way that we can convince them into just giving it up without a fight. But yeah, I think that might be better than direct conflict. Figure out a way.
Or
to
we could,
I have an
or we
idea.
could like steal it. Yeah,
Yeah, like just sneak it.
I have both.
good at that.
Oh crap! I'd have to look at my character sheet, but I have minor illusion and something else, prestidigitation. I think we could totally trick him. We could go up to him and ask him about the tooth and see if maybe we can exchange it for this gold tooth, which I hold my hand out and a gold tooth appears in it. Obviously, it's worth even more money.
You actually
and then
have a gold tooth?
No, I have minor illusion and prestidigitation.
Oh, I thought you
I can make
got
a fucking gold tooth. No, that's why I held my hand out. Poof, there's a gold tooth. We could totally convince him that this is like a way better tooth. This was the replacement tooth that the flaming skull got, and we took this tooth from him too. And so we thought it'd be funny to give it to him, but we want to get the other tooth back returned. And then after we've left, no more gold tooth.
I say,
So
wow,
genius.
that's a really cool gold tooth facsimile you've got there, and I reach out to grab it from your hand, to inspect it myself.
Okay, I let you.
What happens with that when I grab the tooth, DM?
Looks like I hate you guys.
Is it a non-solid illusion?
Mm-hmm.
I have
your hand passes through it.
I say, that might not work so well. I mean, is there a way to get them to accept the tooth without actually touching it? Because I think if they do this and I swipe my hand through it, I say they might realize it's not a real tooth.
I might be getting my spells confused. What does prestidigitation do?
You can make a little flame or sparkle or noises, and minor illusion creates a solid, non-moving, inanimate illusion up to a certain size. So you could make it a gold tooth illusion, but you can't touch it.
I thought it said solid.
Like solid as in can't see through it.
Opaque?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not how I took it to mean it. So never mind, my plan's stupid.
So if you're a wizard in the conjuration school, I think they have an ability that lets them create a small object that lasts for 24 hours. There's also a cantrip conjure object, but that might be homebrew. I can't tell.
It's either homebrew or one of those stupid critical role thing.
Definitely Conjuration Wizard has something like that.
That would be a great use of that if we had it.
Yeah, if you were a Conjuration Wizard, that would probably work.
Okay, so I look at you guys like you're all a bunch of idiots, right? Well, I'm still holding my fake. I'm still holding my.
Yeah.
I'm still holding my fake gold tooth. So I poof it, and then I reach down, and I pick up a pebble off the ground, put it back in my hand, and shimmer. It looks like a gold tooth, and now it has physical form.
I pick up the gold tooth, and it turns back into a pebble as I remove it from your hand, and I say, "Damn!"
Wait. It does that?
Yeah, minor illusion creates like a 3D image, like a picture. It's like a hologram
that doesn't,
and
move.
It can't move. You create it in space, like you could create it on a table, or you could create a rock on the ground. You can't interact with it in any way. So yes, you could hold the pebble, and then you could be like, "But close your eyes," and then they grab it out of your hand and they feel it, but they can't see it. But as soon as they touch the illusion, it disappears.
But we could also just then, when we do the trade, I put it in their hand and they're going to close their hand around it, and there's going to be a second or two before they realize.
Yeah,
But I
there's
just
ways.
handed them a rock.
There are ways we could get around it, but
I still think that this is a plan we could hammer out a little bit better, and I think would be really good and fun and would work.
yeah, I think if we can put some effort into it, I'm not saying you didn't put effort. I'm saying if we
No, I know.
if we put work into it, there might be a way to make it work. Like maybe, how about you show them what's in the bag and you illusion the bag to look like the gold teeth, and you say, here's a sack of teeth if you want to trade it for that one tooth, and then you close the bag and it's pebbles so they can feel it. You guys have all seen Squid Game, right?
Of course.
Sungwoo!
Got
Sungwoo!
Gongbu.
Gangnam style.
Gongbu?
Gunbu. Yeah, Gunbu. We share everything.
That was sad. You know that word is not just like best friend, it's like big brother, like a mentor, like someone that you look up to that like helps you with stuff.
Senpai.
Oh wait. No. I'm not talking about. No, there's a different word that he uses. There's a different...
I think I watched the same video.
Cause he says like he calls him like, oh, you can call me friend or something, but the word he's using is like it's like the brotherly version of senpai basically, and that's the word he's calling out, and the caption says something like, or translation is like, hey bro, or whatever, but the word he's actually using is like for an older brother mentor figure that helps you and that you trust. Yeah, they have a lot of like family words in Korea, huh?
Sangwoo Sajangnim.
Yeah.
Because family means no one gets left behind.
Apparently, family means something in other countries. I don't know.
Yeah.
Apparently, familiar connections are actually important. Apparently, people actually care about relationships. But in America, we got TV. We don't need family.
But yeah, so I think something like that would work. However you want to do it, it's your spell. We're role playing between our characters. My character doesn't know how your spell works. I'm just playing the part of the red cap and going, oh, that's a really cool trick, and then that doesn't work, because me as a player knows how the spell works.
Yes, and me as I did something somewhere and I lost like my list of cantrips.
Isn't it on your character sheet?
It was.
Oh god.
You have a bunch, I think, because you have your Pact of the Tomes. So you have like 3 additional ones.
Yeah, I should have like 6 or 8 cantrips, but I've only got like the original 3 written down. And it's not a case of I didn't write the new ones down. I know I wrote the new ones down. I picked them, I wrote them down, but they're not on my sheet.
Maybe you're looking at just the new ones.
No, I'm looking at the original ones.
Oh.
I'll figure it out. I'll go back through and see if I can find.
But yeah, Minor Illusion is going to be about as close as you can get to what you're trying to do. It would be a leveled spell that you would need, and you don't have any strong illusion spells that I know of.
Yeah, but I still feel like we could probably manage to trick him with the pebble and, an illusion.
Yeah. How do you want to do that?
Are you trying to trick Barnabas the Flame Skull, or are you trying to trick Grubba the Red Cap?
Trying to
Grubba.
get the Red Cap.
Oh, okay.
I'm trying to get the tooth back from him by making a better deal. But then, I just fade you back,
Got it.
But yeah, so what's your plan?
I want to let him know, and be like, hey, so that skull over there, he told us he was missing a tooth before, but he got it fixed. He got a nice gold tooth. And then I'm going to hold my hand out and be like, see? And then he'll be laughing and be like, it'll be funny if I give it to you so that he doesn't even know who has it, but I want his other tooth back first, and then we'll trade them.
And then what?
And then I drop it into like his hand, and I run the other way, going, ha!
And then he kills us.
It's a red cap.
Multiple red caps.
Oh yeah.
Well, I wasn't thinking that was like an attack-worthy thing. I figured that was, they pranked somebody, we pranked them back, so now they're going to want to try and prank us back. But,
But yeah, I mean, it depends on how deep you want the trick to go. Do you want to trick them and make them believe that they got the good deal, or do you want to immediately have them realize what happened? And then that's the planning and detailed plan part of the game is what exactly are you doing? When you're doing something like this, especially as the DM, I have to know. I can't just be like, okay, you want to trick him, here's a spell and here's the item. You have to detail what the interaction is, and you have to think ahead, because those things are going to happen. So what's your ultimate goal?
My goal is just to get the tooth back.
Right. No. I mean the goal of your plan. Like how do you? What's the goal of your plan in the end? Get the tooth back, and then when are they going to discover that they've been tricked?
Oh, the longer they can go without finding out, the better. But now that I know that my cantrip is going to instantly be dispelled, I figure we only have about 3 seconds.
Right, or we could do some other way. So back to my Sungwoo thing, we could show it to them with the minor illusion on it, and then seal it up so they can't see it, and say, but I don't want him to see that I'm giving away his tooth, so let me show it to you, and then you got to keep it folded in the sack, or he'll find out, and then he'll be mad or something.
Yeah, that's a better plan.
Something like that. I'm not trying to come up with a plan. I'm just trying to prompt you into considering something a little more detailed, because it's kind of your thing, but also if we just go with what you said, they're gonna probably attack us.
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay, then give me a couple minutes and I'll come up with a plan then, because I'll have to think about it.
Well, I thought the it's sealed in a pouch thing was a good idea, but I don't know.
So we can cast minor illusion, but it's not moving. So when we move the pouch, it's not going to move. So we'd have to have it like on a table or something and show it to them. And then we could put the cloth over it. That would cover it up, and they wouldn't see the illusion disappear. And then we could pick it up. So we have to bring them to a back corner and be like, hey, look at this. I got something better. Bait them to an area where you already have that illusion created. It'll last for up to a minute. Sound or an image of an object. To an object no larger than 5 feet. And we have to keep them away from touching it.
Yeah, no, it's starting to get way too complicated.
Yeah, that's how the game works. I mean, we could also just blast through and just start attacking things and roll dice.
No, I'm trying to avoid that. I think it'll be comical to have gotten it back by pranking him, doing what type of thing that he did. That's the Fey way. We could, as I go to, I show it to him real quick and put a cloth over it, like you said. And then when we trade, as soon as I have a hold of the actual tooth, that would be then when I would drop the thing and it would fall down, and then I'd kick my foot a little bit so there's a lot of dust. I'd be like, oh my goodness, well, it's down there, and then he can be looking for it and never know that it disappeared because
make him. See, there you go. That's what we were looking for. So
yeah, something like that.
Do it in a way that he can see it physically, but then after we have the other tooth, okay, give me that one, and then I'll give you this one, and then oops, we drop it, but it never really dropped. There was nothing in your hand. So we need to make sure there's gravel on the ground that it could get lost in, quote unquote.
Yeah.
That's a good idea. I like that. Willow, what do you think about that?
I've been listening this entire time, and honestly, y'all have perfected that plan for the most part. I think that's as good as it's gonna get. I think it's amazing.
Okay.
3 minutes later. Okay, everybody, get ready to roll up your new characters for 2 weeks from now.
That's the plan. Okay, so let's see. So we're going to. I think you should be the one approaching them because.
Oh yeah, definitely.
You got the what do you call it? The charisma to bluff them, because it's going to be a big bluff. He's probably going to make us roll deception. And approach them, do that. Oh, I could be not part of the party. I could just like bump into you walking by while you're holding it, and then be like, "Hey, watch where you're going," and then I knock it on the ground. But you have to make sure you have the other one first. We have to come up with a plausible way for you to accidentally drop it.
Hold on a second,
You could just
guys.
be clumsy. What'd you say? Sorry.
He said, hold on 1 second.
Okay, that's what I thought. I was making sure I heard him.
When you guys aggro the red caps, then we'll end the session. You might not.
Yeah. That's what the plan is for, is to potentially avoid a situation. But I mean, plans don't always go to plan. But it's better than just plowing up and being like, hey, if we were like a bunch of strong fighters, like half orcs and stuff, we could just walk up and be like, hey, you mess with our friend. But we're not. We're charisma and ranger and wisdom. So that's our class. Those are our characters.
Our specialties are charisma, wisdom, and ranger.
Okay. And then I'm gonna have to wrap it up soon.
Yep. He said, I don't know if you heard. He said when we aggro the red caps, it'll end the session.
No, I did not hear that. I had to take my headset off. Kira
yeah, that's fine.
Came up.
Yeah.
Yep,
We'll end it soon, just after you guys resolve your red cap interaction.
We've got the plan fleshed out, so we can start doing it and see where it goes and see where that takes us, and that way we can see what's going to happen next.
I hate to cut it off early. You know, if it was somebody else, if it was somebody else doing their whole thing and stuff, I could duck out for a little bit, no big deal. But I can't, and I really am gonna have to go. I gotta take care of Kira.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Well, that's fine.
We need to go like right now. That's fine.
Yeah, we can end
Yeah,
it.
sorry guys.
No, that's fine, because
we got the plan hammered out.
Yeah, and I know what you guys are doing, so I'll make sure that I have stat blocks prepared for the red caps just in case. Well, I mean, you know, actually any interaction, like if you're trying to bluff them, then they can roll insight. So, yeah, that's great. So I'll prepare that. You guys can have time to think about it, and then we'll meet up next Tuesday. Jake, I guess it's up to you. If you want, you can, you know, we can go back to yours because it's time. But, I mean, since I kind of prepared the whole fort, basically, I could go again. So think about it and let me know. But
we'll see. I'd like, yeah, I'll let Zach go. But thank you for staying, hashing out that plan.
Yeah, thanks, Zach. Thanks for playing, Zach. And we can watch the stream later and remember what the plan is. Have a great night.
Oh, I'll type it out.
Oh, yeah. Do that so I can have a chance to think about it. All right, I'm ending the stream.